On 9 April 1987, Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, pulled the curtains back on a plaque that marked the occasion of the opening of an AIDS ward to care for people with HIV infection. During her visit, without any concern or regards for the cameras or the people who witnessed or the type of scrutiny it might bring about, Princess Diana was armed with the facts. Because she worked so hard to enlighten herself, because she struggled so much to make a good use of her platform, she got the proper information and she headed over to the hospital and she shook hands. Now people were wondering, will she or won't she wear gloves? And of course she did not wear gloves. Princess Diana was even told when she would do the walkabouts, "Mom, you should wear gloves." But she wanted to be closer and in touch with people, so she decided that she wouldn't wear gloves for a walkabout. And with something at stake, like the AIDS epidemic, which most people knew very little about at the time, the Princess of Wales bravely went to the hospital and she interacted with AIDS patients, the staff in the hospital ward, and was even greeted by one of the nurses at the hospital who told her, he said, "I'm HIV positive myself." And Princess Diana shook his hand and touched his arm. At the time, there were quite a few people who wanted to see if the Princess of Wales would actually follow through with her promise with the opening of this ward. And she did. And not only that, even though out of the 9 patients, only 1 patient would agree to have himself filmed on camera. The others, they had their meetings with the Princess of Wales away from the cameras, which was okay. But the one that was brave enough to have himself filmed on television, he actually did it with his back to the camera, and she reached out and touched his hand. And by doing that, the brave Princess of Wales managed to erase several years of fear and stigma and anxiety about HIV/AIDS. And to that, the world should forever be grateful. Having gone through a pandemic in the past 18 months, has it been? 14 months? We can clearly see the effects of the panic that sets in when you just don't know the facts. But right now we're learning to live with this pandemic. And back in those days, some of you may be too young to remember and probably will never meet someone who has actually died from HIV/AIDS, but it was a very tough time. But we made it through. And one of the ways that we managed to get through that without a massive panic, although it was a very large panic in regards to AIDS, was because of the Princess of Wales, Diana Frances Spencer Mountbatten Windsor. She's the one who gave the world the courage that it needed. And so on this day, her birthday, her 60th birthday, we should all be very enthusiastic about wishing Princess Diana and everyone she's ever met and everyone she ever touched the happiest of Princess Diana's birthdays. And for those that are no longer with us, just imagine how much better their lives were because they were comforted by the people's princess. Today they're going to commemorate a statue dedicated to the people's princess at the Sunken Garden at the Kensington Palace. This is one of the very few public memorials to the Princess of Wales. As far as I'm concerned, there's been too few of them. But this one is really special because it is being dedicated by the 2 princes, Harry and William. It's going to be a very small gathering, about 30 minutes. And then after that, the people will have a chance to have a focal point at the place where Princess Diana lived for most of her adult life, Kensington Palace. So I can see why Harry chose to announce the wedding there, because it is probably the most sacred place in all of Kensington Palace for Prince Harry. So he wanted to, I guess, have that connection with his mother for an occasion like announcing an engagement. So very special place. I was privileged to have the opportunity to see it. So once again, to the People's Princess, the Princess of Wales, happy birthday, happy 60th birthday, and thank you for all you have given humanity.